Hello, and welcome to the next episode of the Four Horsemen. My name is Paul, representing Diecast Graveyard. Today, along with my fellow horsemen, Keith from Outlaw Speed Shop, Jeff from 164 Revival, and Xavier from Diecast Show Customs make up the Four Horsemen. Well, this month's build is something pretty unique. We have a Hot Wheels mod rod, and the theme of today's build is convertible. So we're going to hack the top off of this car and turn it into a convertible. I've never done anything with this casting before, so this is definitely going to be unique. So go ahead and grab your favorite adult beverage, sit back and relax, and watch along as we turn this Hot Wheels mod rod into a convertible. Let's go ahead and get started. I've already drilled out the post, so let's go ahead and take the car apart and evaluate what we have. Alright, well here's the body. Like I said, we definitely need to cut the top off, so let's go ahead and start that. All the other parts are brand new, but we're going to have to cut them up too to get to where we need to fit them together. So I've got my jeweler's saw here, and I'm taking my time, and we're cutting the roof off the car. If you don't have one of these jeweler's saws, you definitely should get one because they're worth their weight in gold. Now, I'll tell you ahead of time, you're going to snap a lot of blades. So make sure that the saw you get comes with a bunch of blades because you're going to snap them, I promise, until you learn how to use it. Now, I'm getting better at using it, so I'm not snapping as many, but you are going to do it, I promise you. Just do the best you can to get the top off, depending on what car you're working on here. And the way I'm holding it here is not a good way to hold it either because, yeah, you could probably cut yourself, which you don't want to do, of course, but it's just not stable, and this right here will definitely cause your blade to snap also. It takes a long time to go through this, so let's go ahead and speed it up. Now that we got the top cut off, we're going to have to do some filing to smooth it down. Now you got to be careful at this point because the back end of the car is now extremely weak because you removed the top portion and the rigidity is gone. So be careful there. Here we're going to mess around with the engine and the interior. I cut off the top of the engine and I'm going to replace it with the engine out of a gasser. I just like the way that this engine looks better. I'm not really crazy about that inline 6 or whatever it is. So we'll get this all set up, flatten it out to make sure it's okay, and we'll make this look pretty good. I've also gonna change the front end here with that 32 Ford front end. That'll look really nice. Got to do some filing there and some cutting, but it's gonna look good. Let's move on. I've got the interior just sitting in there. And again, I'm messing around with the front grille and lights here. That's going to look good. We just got to figure out how we're going to attach it. There's a big chunk of plastic there in the front from where the wheels are and the radiator used to be, so that should be a good area to go ahead and glue it in. But I want to make sure that it's not just floating out there. I want to make sure that it's going to set nice. We've also cut a piece in the back that we're going to use as the convertible area of the car. This is going to look pretty nice. Here we've got the body. We'll get it in the embalming fluid, get it coated really nice. Now the tray I normally use is being occupied at the moment with a bunch of other cars, so we'll go ahead and just set this on the lid. Mess around with the engine some more here. We got some Testors modeling glue. We just got to make sure that it's centered on the interior there. That's going to line up nice. Once we get it on there and it gets dried, then we're going to go ahead and coat it up with the Molotow chrome pen. I could have cut off the headers, but I decided to just go ahead and let those stay on there. I know there's only 3 pipes on either side, but you know what? It still looks pretty darn good.
Meanwhile, back in the graveyard.
Let's work on the wheels. I took some wheels off of a gasser, and they fit perfectly. Once I got the body off, the gasser wheels fit perfectly. So these are going to be really sweet on the car. We'll let those dry, and then we'll put these rear wheels in the back, and that's going to look good. Now these particular wheels I got from Sam Ed Wheels. Make sure you check out Sam Ed Wheels. They've got some really great stuff there, and the best part about Sam Ed Wheels, folks, is that they are in North America, so it doesn't take too long to get your stuff. Now the guys over in Malaysia, they've got some great wheels and they sell some great products, but they've been taking weeks and months for you to get your product. Something to consider if you're in a hurry to get your project done. So check out Sam Ed Wheels on Facebook and on eBay. Now we're going to dress up the engine. We got these velocity stacks that I'm going to put on top here, and I got these from Bearcat 3D Designs. My friend Grizz definitely takes care of me when it comes to providing me with parts to experiment with on these cars. And they fit on there perfectly too. You just got to be super careful when you go to put these velocity stacks on, because they're incredibly brittle. And they come on a sheet, and you've got to cut away the little supports because they're made with the resin. They're not made with the string version of the 3D printer. Something to think about. But they're going to look good once we get them all painted up. That's looking sweet. Let's let that dry. Okay, let's work on the body. I got this panel in the back for the convertible area, and what I did here is I used my pin vise and I drilled some holes in the back. Then I took a paper clip and I made myself a roll bar. Made it just wide enough to fit in the holes. Actually, I made the roll bar first, and then I made the holes afterwards, just to make sure that it was going to fit properly. You just have to make sure that the bar is level when you go ahead and glue it in place. Once I'm satisfied with the way it looks, then I'm going to get under there with a little bit of super glue and make sure that that's secure. Now if you want to afterwards, you can also put a couple of drops of accelerator on there to help speed up the drying time. Now that we got that taken care of, we're going to spray the body down with some Tamiya Primer. This is an excellent product, folks, and I recommend it highly. Here's what it looks like after we sprayed it. Now we're ready to put the main color on the car, and this is going to be a really cool color. Here I'm using Sparklescent Mango from Createx. Now this is an auto air paint, and it's fantastic. This can be found at spraygunner.com. We're also going to mix it with some 40-30 balancing clear and some 40-13 reducer to thin it up to be able to go through the airbrush. Here, I'll show you how we're going to mix it. Shook it up really good. It's got a little marble inside the bottle. Squirt out the amount that you want. Put in about 10% of the 40-30 balancing clear. Now we're going to put in about 10% reducer. That should be good there. The next step is we're going to go ahead and mix it up. Now I got these cocktail toothpicks. They're a little bit wider than normal, so they make a really good stirring spoon. Go ahead and stir it up really good, make sure it's mixed well, and then you're going to let the paint sit for approximately 10 minutes. This will allow the paint to start to emulsify, and it'll allow all the chemicals to start bonding together and making everything happy. So that's what you need to do, is let that paint sit for about 10 minutes before you start to spray it. Again, like I said, make sure it's mixed extremely well and let it set. Let's go ahead and move on to the next step. Well, for some reason I don't have the portion of video where I sprayed this car, the Sparklescent Mango, but this is how it turned out. That's where I glued the roll bar in place. That looks good. Here is the base of the car with those beautiful Samed wheels. I painted the bottom of the floor to match the interior. Here's the engine that we did up with the Molotow chrome pen. And the interior looks good. That's still a little bit wet, so we'll let that dry. Instead of using your pen to get into places, you can buy this Molotow chrome pen refill and just use a couple drops out of there and use a paintbrush to go ahead and paint what you're trying to chrome up. It's a really good idea.
The very next morning.
Using the bottle of the Molotow chrome pen will definitely save you some money because you only use a couple of drops. Here's some detail that we did on the car. The base is all dry now. That looks good. Here's the interior. The interior looks good. That'll fit in there nicely. The engine looks fantastic. I definitely liked how that turned out. We're going to go ahead and glue this on and then get the Molotow chrome pen on that grill too. Here's the windshield from the car originally that we cut down and filed around. That looks great. Let's put it together and have our reveal. And here's what we started with. A Hot Wheels mod rod. Now this was sent by one of the other four horsemen, and it was his idea to do this. I think it was Keith from Outlaw Speed Shop. We took the car apart, we evaluated what we needed to do, we got out the jeweler's saw and started hacking away at the car. Now, what's really cool about these builds is you're doing it off the cuff, and what I mean by that is you're just going with an idea and hope that it works. But that's the fun part, is when the stuff starts to come together and it starts looking really cool, and you look back at your finished product and you go, wow, I'm really happy with that and the way it turned out. And you know what? I'm really happy with this build because I think that this car definitely could look better. So we did the paint job, we did the wheel swap, we did the modifying with the engine, and we put on a new grille and headlights on the front. And this is how it turned out. Look at that beautiful Sparklescent Mango paint that you can get at spraygunner.com. We chromed up the engine, we put the grille on there, we painted in the headlights and detailed them up. We put on those fantastic Samed wheels, they look great. We detailed up the trunk straps that hold that on and we put that roll bar on there. Painted the interior. It turned out fantastic. I am super excited about the way this car turned out. Now make sure you get over and check out the other four Horsemen builds. I'll have some links there in the comment area. But also check out some of the other folks that are building the Four Horsemen builds also. Just do a search for Four Horsemen Diecast and you'll be able to find their videos too. But please check them out, and if you're not subscribed to those channels, please subscribe to them because these folks have a lot of fun making cars and making videos just for you to watch. Now coming up next month is a Chevy El Camino, and the theme is shiny paint. All the Four Horsemen builds are due on the last day of the month, and this build here will be due 31 March. If you want to participate in these Four Horsemen builds, do a search for the video Four Horsemen. Actually check out my playlist for Four Horsemen, and you'll be able to find out which cars are due and what month they're due. Check out the folks at spraygunner.com. They've got a complete line of airbrushes for all your airbrush needs. They've got a really cool line of compressors to include their wonderful no-name compressors. They've got airbrush paints from Createx, which is an incredibly great brand. They've got their in-house brand called Chroma Air. I love these paints. Airbrush kits from Grex and No Name and many other manufacturers. Spend less, get more at spraygunner.com. And don't forget about the great products of Flitz. If you go to their website at www.flitz.com, for those folks watching Diecast Graveyard videos, the folks at Flitz have got a special offer for you. If you go to their website, any product online, Flitz will offer you 20% off any product off their website. At the end of the transaction, type in the code Graveyard. Now this deal is for anyone who watches Diecast Graveyard's videos, but you have to go to the Flitz website in order to get this special deal. Thank you to the great folks at Flitz. I want to thank you for joining me here today on the Four Horsemen. My name is Paul, representing Diecast Graveyard. Like I said, please check out the other builds from the other Four Horsemen. The links will be in the comments. Now please subscribe, hit that like button, and we'll see you next month on the Four Horsemen. My name is Paul. Cheers.